she ni mekande oh there been even a blasters mobile BM there been BM no. Eventually we were served with a meal no a mixture of sweetness and then also a bitter because of how you started game no eventually yelling your goal and then also the yes and you consider goal BM no na why the one man in general that when we see people on into the market or a mixture of bitterness and then also sweetness but in the nutshell I think it was one of the best exercises Black Stars wire in recent past. And no yedema in power going into the Mundial. And I bet you could the breakdown of the game. Na ya share exactly what happened with Papana offering the Carlos Queiroz in the first game on original touchline. I prepared team not that corner or they could room. But just before then, there's this thing OC during the game. While Blena yelling introduce Ali Duseidu no. And why inside a lot of discussions on the streets and Kofubi said, why then now Ali Duseidu no Luffy and bench Abeshe game in mono. Obi no be replacing no that person that is Marvin Sanaya no he had already gotten out. But Alidu was still outside and they were with 10 against 11. Or Bendena the mad no be and I bet I5 no ni FIFA going into the World Cup we introduce a lot of rules. With a lot of rules about. But baby I hear you call for a victim on them didn't and Alidu after them having sent a outside no so what preventing them from coming onto the field no. Only the CCR according to I5 no. So what natural would just number on the substitution board if you park under you've got 10 seconds. They be fi park no do. A delay you be forced to get out but who made no do be shame no. One more Obedina outside for at least 1 minute. The game now continue and son will introduce no. And so we believe the Marvin Sanaya no or delay with a substitution no. On no more prevent Ali decided the moment but in session countenance nana in the Anobaba and all code between the 4 to 3 on Angasa Ali decided including Marvin Sanaya and Angasa and the head coach in Carlos Queiroz no. They were surprised. They were shocked because Obi of them the person is out. Why am I being prevented to also get onto the field? I think Otina another channel. Yeah, the explanation to the other rules are IFAB and the FIFA going into the World Cup will introduce no. Yeah, no see the bottom na yeah that for live on Spice 91.9 FM. Also on Facebook, but in the national game end the 1-1 or end the 1-1. Was long World Cup ni behind the yellow call. And tonight you been here some of these results to at least boost our confidence. Also to measure Papana often Carlos Queiroz na wabe jejuma fofon wa add a few technical men to his bench. Na ya share the sort of glimpses obo show. Na wa men science okay walk up no bofa another olimfa. Tana pionya more than painful the whole question of the day no. Will be said that je watch no or convince so that you are ready for the Mundial na. Let's start with the that is the lineup no. And Breast Spice 91.9 FM on Facebook na benya kunya na share Black Stars lineup ya debate. And most of the size, or almost all the size, they had the arrangement of the players wrong on paper regarding the formation. Most of the size. And I bet it was the typical 4-4-2 formation. It wasn't a 3-back. Yainya commentated Benano got it wrong during the commentaries and all that because of the arrangement and how in the sites were presented in the lineup no. With Black Stars didn't know and you're carefulness and pay attention to little details during the game now. You might think that it was a 3-back, but it was the typical 4-back while Brendan Lawrence at the Godemino. That is Jerome Pokuna, Jonas Ajiti, and over 4 and 5. With Marvin Sanaya as the right back, then Gideon Mensah as the left back. In Finfinono, it was Thomas Tepate and Elisha Owusu. Right wing, it was Abdel Fattah Shahaku. Left wing, Kamadin Sulemana, and then Jordan Ayew plus the player in that is Prince Kwabenedu leading the lines. So Jordan was mostly playing behind Prince Kwabenedu and Wallborn as a number 9 as far as the Fisher is concerned. Now, you start the game now, the start of the game now, and the bondo a very kick off Ninya Ben. It was worse no start the game no, and more that arrangement of your players no, what Brenna game knowledge I say, and on no minya. A bit of confidence with a sort of approach a Ghana. Yedi ko game room and was down to how now ye expected any boys and Wobber press. In the whoever watched live another OTM analysis no better than America that I don't want to see that like a lackadaisical approach from the Black Stars. I wanted the zeal and the hunger to fight or press for the boss. And in confident possible na a bonda or 3 players and now bend the halfway line. not any of them entering a penalty box. It is not allowed. And what passing or go nature the common goalkeeper no friend Dalo no. And the Bonda Prince Kwabne do has started the pressing. And I was on Spice 91.9 on Facebook no with the press from unknown Prince Kwabne do no. A Bonda Joe Rondon all boss a centre back on Nedalo no will prevent one between wako press one goalkeeper. Two players who will prevent Ghana playing and the moment on press one goalkeeper no. Eventually he was able to maneuver his way through or beat the first line of defense. Ekwe press goalkeeper no forcing the on long. And Blasters your teams Nibia, senior balloon bond in the area before this time. Not the zeal the young Konenko fight for first balls no head in a pan. And what me no dan ye James next side one I bet what born quite. Ghana ko challenge my bono utuna or result in that is the true. And the number of times I know Kofno do an attack what they for no. Probably they knew they no Gideon Mensah no hono e kwana the ho. And now Sonya Gideon Mensah no one e kwanda wa. On the left side of Wolves one attack no was Thomas. On the right side was Daniel James. Between the two, one and the yen trust and yen fan attack and yen fan the pan. Obviously obey Daniel James. Because of the exposure and the kind of in the clubs are root to Wabona, including Manchester United there, now he will be the players who get a fear factor pan in that Wolves attack. No? And no one know what they for pan, no one don't know Gideon Mensah bed in Penny Bibri. Now only brim Penny Pino, not all catch Gideon on the 1v1s. When Gunani Masi Bebrubati was only Daniel James, no make the most out of Gideon Mensah. Anytime we to catch no, and sometimes even or arrive in the penalty box no I quite dangerous. I'm at the Blasters there. You able to na team one down, and when we are able to win the ball, I bet we are forced to go long. We are forced to go long, and I want more a bit of problem on home. Ya get very conservative. Baby na numbers all Blasters have. I say can plus words for no. See, to me, the ball if you want war, near Colonga bed, one and the other born common. It's either Prince Kwabene or Jordan Ayew. Well, that's 1v1 attribute now. What for born would they beat off the track or marking from opponents? No, now what I got to goalkeeper now punish na. It was mostly the problem, and anytime we try to turn defense into attack. You lose that long ball into the side of club now. That is counter off in the Wolves. Then it comes back to our defense. And how when I expect Robert set up. And the Wafa Bisewa had in the other two central defenders that may expect on Pepe. And I mentioned Jonas Ajeti and only the other player now, no to no bono, Opoku, Jerome. And I think that Wungu Nimason. So they really stepped up. Menya sure they will be carried there na nke expect the Jikubia na Salisu be memorable because of how solid they played for the 90 minutes and another until then Jerome Mpo all be game no. Oh, I think so. The slides, the blocks, the build up from the back and the communication between them, so it was not that bad at all. And Jonas played like he was making an audition for himself. There's what's a Salisu so what's the Alexander Jukunua, I can step up to fill that void. And he played like a typical Ghana defender. I bet the modern day football or modern day centre back. Wama Ghana you lose the traditional centre backs angasa. Ne yesu so ni enyim wonde wo nyina wode ba no. Because typical black centre back another Ghanaian centre back abed or aggressive. Onya aggressive or do consider foul or penalty. Aggressive or dey raj bone fu nsem. Ono ma et wa yen your confidence wo yemu de no e do kwalo or ko fro boot no wage bone fi nsem. But play from the back, ball playing centre back, comfortable on the ball. One may you lose that qualities na ye wo in any centre backs and who the mad no. Obia is forced to play. One may you lose the tackles ankasa. And then I saw a combination of tackling and passing from Jonas Ajeti and Jerome Opoku. As much as Agbleke in the worst one, so that one meant the best of test, at their level and kakra watching a bit, it's not that bad at all. And Jonas, I think that will show glimpses of a typical central defender. Wowen Wagana, or tried over to now, why Bibi no Diamano. At a point, now there was this defensive splitting passer, would break the line between Jerome Opoku and a Gideon Mensah. And it was Daniel James no side one and what born by Buffet. And what beating you in the square pass number penalty box him. I will show honor that to know. This was a splitting passer with the boy in defense him, and mostly there were vast half spaces and not that you're placing one in fifth. And when this pass obey, Daniel James to me or square, then called him a striker, and I had to take Jonas Ajeti to slide and get this one out of danger. Born or two no best in a corner, but then that is look from the dado ana me expecting even Senko Jonas Ajete Messi mpa nko ono no still obotu na we go down na we could save that ball no. Then it comes to communication. Only one of the problems are you need defense the goalkeepers win in recent past. Atizigi ya the pan for me before baby fi game anymore. One consider no quay. But why can you communication kakabed? Everyone telling that to the CCI. Them ball Jonas Ajete heady. No number na no pay. I mean, could think about to know question it. But Oliver, I think he did not call for ball. He did not communicate with Jonas. Whether they only allow number for ball, another on head the ball in fame fuel. And I shall approach no day, but I mean, yes, sure. The Jonas Ajete one head the ball in pank or not Tizigi, Nesabo Tumaka, because he was already going down. No look for my answer. Nti one sign kabona, obviously striking about no wabana waba connect. And now only Jonas no or had the ball no out of danger. And I think that next time he should build on his communication and the number of defenders are yet throw behind the ball. When a ball no near on a bed, it is dangerous. It is dangerous. Maybe probably against Panama because of iron the sort of country in many respect. But in the World Cup proper against Croatia and against England, a question will pull me the ma obey there Arsenal and the Paris Saint-Germain Champions League final example ni be. Into me yet throughout because I want to so individual players are warriors careful with this sort of low blocks what maneuver one way through now what about punishing and then for my telling order to know with any numbers in defense now you to me as many as 9 around our penalty area. Around our penalty area, and we now will stand our defend and 9 would on our bed keeper can 110. Why can't he know anymore or your one? Yeah, but born in the manner, how can he go and punish them? And I think it is one of the things other and understanding that to know. So 2 players now over outside the penalty box. No, there's only one on Numpono or Ben center circle. No, only was from Onukum. And say a favorite in Pona and underdog global. Now, when I was so pulling them, and the more on your space, no control passes man over growing confidence. And about 2 in the moment, not that punish. And I think it is one of the things other Carlos Queiroz Otuna or work home. Back to Atizigi, I think that save that he made from Daniel James was very stellar. It was very, very sweet. So the more question team then can consider first goal. Not me how when Keba back into the game. And she Daniel James in the height. If any defense, including Ankasa Daniel, on no all a tier crowd. And to have outjumped Marvin Sanaya, to have gotten that header on target, I bet it's a scare for Iron as Ghanaians. Knowing the sort of strikers are Panama Delaba, Croatia Delaba, England Delaba. Not Daniel James, Kitty to move them. Or head the ball with force it. At this good them save your bed, yeah, careful. Yeah, careful, pa. Say, Mele conclude with Atizigini performance, and I think he can compete with the goalkeeper in that is Benjamin Asari. And Atizigini for Bibian Twinch and I bed, or experience will work up in my head of Benji. Meboa. The last work up on no day. Yes. And they were rating about 6 out of 10 in the last work up no day, no. And to say, Yaleka. Communication, you look at experience and exposure will be when you at the highest level. They are bed. Yet it's the other Benjamin Asari. You walk on at Tizigin or them. You walk on at Tizigin or them. And say, you didn't the game and put a case study. The whoop ya for the first half one concede. Nessa Benji, but the second half, the consider bed with 2 sides and 1 at the bottom. 1 at the bottom. And then you see, Jamaica match number. Do next the game near the access. I only be near that Kodia. Then I think Atizigi will get the nod ahead of Benjamin Asari because eventually say go no considering that you won't mistake or ye. And aside the chances that is worse of no. A bone na the performance of Atizigi or can be the non-call from 1 year first goal as far as when and know them or you're concerned. And it was down to how conservative and mostly get throwing more men in our own half anytime we are without the ball. Nkofuna hit post in the bed 2 times. And the first post na wale hit no, it was the bar no that post no crossbar no on the ball no kwa me. And I bet numbers and ye true in our own half. I leave 1 player free. And in the Nashel, baby and a player na why free original. I want Daniel James no kwa arrive here or for loose ball no boy my ball no copy mbano. I will show on the stream. Now, that is the area na mama can read, Born with the far right hand side. Our black stars and the left side of that is defense wall. In the bone that time, they come out in Suleiman. Why we draw back? Don't support Gideon Mensah. Perfect. And it is one of the things I ever paid during the tournament in a yellow. and then Arsenal didn't example only in the boom day in the say Bukayo Saka no Arsenal in kita ball already draw now our boss support in the right back no the man and the young who ended the night when our front that's Kamadi Suleiman on also already draw now our boss support Gideon Mensah, but picking up men, not just being present. Do you leave another player free and trusting and respecting if you the born in no on your dangerous and my can had to be on get a ball no you who's in pocket a ball and when a lay off in the bed or real penalty box in a bed he was able to get a shot on target at he tried all parry ball Nansanka and a ball no copying ban a clearance on or bed from Jonas Ajeti. So it is one of the things also Carlos Cruz and an defenders coaches no to know engagement that I saw in the coach in John Painter. There were afraid 2 defenders are all the more on the preps and then also talks now and you are there probably on the what task and the own coach defenders no because he played as a defender and coaches in one position bueno you best expect to the bottom now aye. Now the first time in Ghana yelling a one dangerous attack obey around the 18th minute. Into the first 18 minutes, no, it was, ding dong, the man, but me and to me and create dangerous attacks or moves are scare worse for no. And the first time he was around the 18th minute, and there was a switch long boy, yeah. And before this time, na Salisu yebi, na Jukuna yebi. Say your opponent leba, ye dead the one bar halfway line odo. Na ya long ball is unechi, but mostly born undul, yana target men. Even in the day, Bobby to throw be blade. Ni na tried the cover up the Fatao Shahakon one. Because in that is a Hakuneji, not so cutting bottom the left foot in the bed, or only a shot on target as a maba. Them the in confusion to anyone by Yenshi and Polonam Bolong and Farman. And the first time we tried it, I bet it worked. One of the positives are Muhi. And there will be sending message during the comment today on who tactics are Carlos Cruz Norbo. And a who shall crown and who they may approach. And that mean education, the tactics today. It doesn't matter whether or you offer another on your offer, a another MP, while work another on working. So far as you see a specific routine in the, it means there is a practice a walk or the wall tried overcut, no will be placed during the game. And the long balls and war switch shall come up the Fatao Shahakuno was one of the tactics of Carlos Cruz in the game. No, or fair win delay. Fatao Shahakunim Nanke, a one or the born bed dead, Nanka was start to lean a catching a delay can be no delay. And on the Jordan or arrive in the penalty area. No set one of the man Jordan are you. Jordan had a very sweet 10. No 1v1. I nature the post him, and as a striker, one of the best attributes of a very good striker is how you are able to face the pole, even when a wait you the pole no. And just one touch, in the Jordan, what 10 has sent the ball away from the marker. But unfortunately, 10 the ball but then we can let foot do. 2 things had to happen at that moment. Manga Samonko for glory, and I mean lay off Mfama Kamadin Sulemana, and a lay off Makamadin Sulemana on an all ball with a strong right foot. And when me believe that Jordan or choose the wrong option, no. Wabo decided that no, manga some miracle left foot in the more. And this has been one of the bins of the Black Stars. Individual glories are in moments like this place who decide to walk for. Pass Mobia and Mamma pass, manga some mumba and other mamma. And before this time, ne yen abde Fatausha, how Kwananga so I be. And it's image pa. Anankobutu pass a prince Duka, but not one pass a mono. Na nanga sa kwa boy born of a baby. It's Jordan kwa try. O we no born into twitching. O ma the twitching we no 10 abede he. O no sha kama din Suleiman na nyim no. Because when nimpe no me do ban, baby na ejina, the drive and the options are not around him no. He could have chosen to pass the ball, but wanye eno tu no kobo ball na ball no call that is over the bar. Aside that, I bet the 1v1s and how na ye pick was on the in defense and also honestly one of the highlights of the game. Honestly, mama, Papa of Carlos Cruz thumbs up because teams now you throw matches if the actual coaching system need anything to go by and you get very conservative there. Ngofuna build the attack and put into me and play na for 1-on-1. And Carlos at a point in the game ne bonde all day around the 22nd minute in the Ngofuna ukita ball no deliver no. Goals for no kita born whatever, and I bet can goals for 1 in our next 1.5. Ghana for Yama could be a 1-1-1-1. Yama could be a 1-1, and a mark on them, and they will be forced to go long. And more I'm a what this press team playing there. I bet aside the forwards and one mark, even the centre backs, they also have to come out of their shells. The Womble number goes down the attackers, because one defenders were for one. Os da when ya attack and ebo wonim na be jebo na ten I mean transition no into dangerous moves. Yes, and why withdraw no aben. And Juna Jetin abed on we pray no. On wa ba back on I do be another for boy in the boot refinage foul dit Ghana. Me interest is not in the foul that he created, but they ya cut down the attack on na dem man Tom Safo. And you on your foul Edebeji booking, Edebeji yellow card and na debia, what about more red card. And the fighting spirit and the hunger to win the ball, no, it is one of the things I know this will game no over and over personally. Now me are happy for. And the ball at your point, what the ball beat Jordan Ayew. Before that giveaway, it was down to Jordan Ayew's press. Ghana for can Jordan na some penny bebre. The Jordan ye lazy. Jordan in fun who share matches him. Jordan in Kunu Huma Black Stars. But under Carlos Cruz ended that we saw a different Jordan altogether. Jordan all press the opponent. It won't be penine. And when a wall break from the back now, all new support no, he started pressing the center back no often and that is low no. When you can ambedin him, not come and goalkeeper Dalo. Dalo so na adwuna nko so sha come Joe Rondo and the Jordan intercept and it was a feeble pass. And I want to so Ghanaians be start will be Jordan questions there. Why the ball we once why the one pass? First of all, a back credit to goalkeeper Dalo. After all the ball nature Jordan no, they obe out very early. Oben so expanding the body no closing the first pole for Jordan Ayew not to go through that side. A critical example ye Kai Havertz need not share against Paris Saint-Germain no. Keeper no try to close the first pole by Kai Havertz no otumo use both feet ni na nene be nya yedwuma. And not try that shot on target offer first pole the beat goalkeeper no. But with Dalo no o closing the better than that goalkeeper Safonov na ordered my Paris Saint-Germain no. And aside the Jordan Mason and keeper no close that area, Otumo be save them born. Now another option, then call back Pimbono that's an issue. It comes back to the communication. It comes back to the awareness and respecting your teammates. No, baby, imagine an angle near very acute. Make off for glory, mankasa make obo. Na me lay off and I may square pass now another person. Which one is the best of options? Them efa. Jordan mankasa mumbo another mankasa men pass, and he feels that no, in the dressing room, in the team and on the field, play be new also say me Jordan. I am the leader, and against Wolves, if I'm able to get this one into the back of the net now, meji midin mankasa men try. Meanwhile, na bona call the new weaker left foot though. Meanwhile, na angle na extremely acute. And I will show the bone the chance the bone then na Prince Edu Kwabena na Abdul Fatah Oshakumo while outrun one of Marcus arrive around the penalty box. As a Jordan Ayew was quite bia dem wo mu bia owo to no wenya that empty net na wa pema to Jordan and pass. Jordan in this instance one pass and it's one of the things me expect the Carlos Cruz be for. And a team why I practice with especially the cutbacks and the square passes and this one would end out the pass into the space behind you or you then I would teammate Babana Waba connect. And in the culture that probably they do not rehearse this so much. In the side for first for example, it's selling to the more a bone and Prince Edu Kwabena benenim, but because it is not part of their practices in internal, we know. Now you know that another person will get one and then also arrive in the penalty box with the third man running at that moment into the pass number and an anchor soccer boy and I bet if he had the space or the wall. Boy, what do my Prince Edu Kwabena on your empty net? Empty net too. But on them the Yoko training your quiet. It is not part of us. And one country will use the Madi pa.
I'm even sure that Prince.
Oh, who know?
Because Nitty foam.
Nitty foam and son of Bobo Dembono.
One check
and with the Germans, yes. With the Germans and the Spanish national team, I will use the Mr. Lee Palm. On phone the nittimate one nittimate, over pass one out. And then because there, yes, while practicing in the not the Bonica Shabawa or Bosco, especially when he is closed down. And this one, a boom, Joe Rondo will close you down. Goalkeeper Dalo will close you down. Would they never square out to space anymore? Target the penalty mark. On the coaches in the watch the players now, what they want to target the penalty mark. The bone be on the penalty mark in the line of the pair, a pass to obey empty net and connect. So communication and knowing and being aware where your teammates will be at what point in time. And the player also get a bonus in the Mado Bay internet also a bar in the because they commit to pass no. And I think that Carlos Cruz should also work on this one and so as well. And another side of the communication also quite here was Kamadin Sulemana. Also try one shot around the 35th minute or deflect and a dallon or pick a ball with ease. And also before with that shot, no, not you to my step party. I bet what by in a penalty box naturally pay or ben a penalty mark on a selling that. No, it's a set it to it is a shot on target, so obon control. and I care the famous Michael Essien no goal or say.
Sure.
I think it was against Arsenal. No, for Chelsea.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
No.
Barcelona rather. Yes. Similar position, and what's set to a mobile control. And the zone with Michael Essien and the Frank Lampard must goes for Hopper. And a team that has bond and then also telepathy. You should know that had they not the Millie born to them teammate. On so bone, my daughter. So big the Carlos Cruz or ye defensive minded coach. Na say little details be there na. Into many nimpan in because the art of defending back there you're very right. Transitions ni ye but the final passes. Ye do any mono biali ya mope. Mama Abdul Fattah Shah kone de ananka so call for glory. When no bigine yoba pass amen. Two different examples from Jordan Ayew na nkoba pass a one pass. Then Kamadi Sulemana. Yena attackers no way for. Including Prince Kwabnedu. On the penal be a chance and not door pass at one pass. Aside Prince Kwabnedu, Jordan, Kamadin, and Nunso Fatao Shaku. And we now with one. And we now why be. And Carlos Cruz should work on that, not necessarily or always paying attention to the defense. Not only the attackers no one problem. Now to the midfielders. I think Elisha Owusu Yellow did more than how was there Bono. And ended that he had a very fine outing. Because of partying ups and downs in internal, or made money caseba denodo. And I make the words of us were respecting and kakra. Internana woman free space and mostly on the switches to come out that is Kamadin Sulemana on the right side. And on the Abdul Fattah Shah so the side passes and the crosses no. It was mostly coming from him. Most often, not on yana accurately, but the short ones no corner day, no a perfect and then also may pay. But Thomas Party, he could have gotten a red card straight. I think Refino, he had to leave him off the hook. Ohundo a friendly in Timon Fanchen. With that slide, no deserve a yellow card. And on many yellow and uncle could red no if you game anymore. I bet. I mean, as a coach, one, with the yellow card, no, I don't care. If for a first yellow, no problem. All the red there, then I have a problem with it. But my interest in there, Thomas Party at his age, as an untouchable player, make untouchable. Black Stars, yeah, then na part of I been in a friendly match. Why would Party attempt to throw in this tackle? Or what why then? Minimum some making it, Marcia. Because all 2-1-2, Black Stars no be biabo. Obi ope biabo, opera convince Carlos Cruz. No, but no munko kumu. I bet look at that tackle. You could have easily gotten injured.
Sure.
You need a friendly match against Japan or so. Na boy Yoko could play after now Bombay. Blasters, it was similar. There Obi was short. Nedo na lebeshen in him. Obeji one clinician. But the party had to train that tackle. It's also the hunger. The quest to fight for every single ball. But baby Okoko Cheno only now me concern as a technical person. Because boy we coach against Croatia look at Modric dia or Shenet in him. Matthew Kovac na Brozovic mo. I bet one madala samaba.
If you send a red card account.
A bit red and so against England Rashford we are classical na. Rashford mo Hurricane mo jinjinema bed. Jude Bellingham boy one madala or Shenet him. The worst na wa ba to no. Into the hunger and the quest to fight for every ball. I even could train that dangerous tackle behind the penalty box on the day. Me a technical person now, wow, it break down the attack. Because that continual junction. And you play bialo bin your bending on the curl and the right. Born a question him or your goal. Or your goal. But there again, where are you doing those tackles? Because a free kick bouncer, a ben you'll be an expert over convert. And on your part, you're going to see bones sounds to be in the second half. What the beno? Also the same zone that time no a second half. Into born the beno. I bet now also could create that foul no. I think that they should be cautious where Zalia over comment now will create some of these errors. Now to Marvin Senea, Sisia Yenyo number 2. I bet is a Yenyo number 2. Marvin Senea. It means to crack and who is short no buena.
Sure.
Dalo the bony Diago Kebe and cautionating. And when you that lack the ball deflect you off a player. Normally, so deflect them not over the bar. But don't know deflecting the ball listen I catch a net him. Breastpice 91.9 on Facebook. This is a right back. And to have that instinct to arrive on the edge of the penalty box at that time, no. Or so you are calling off the bluff of the attackers of Warsaw. Because the turnover in the bar, I think the elbow ran, they look back to your zone. On a friend recovery, no. About to recover. Now, cut to the teammate and opponent, no. On for born on show. Another coach body finance man. And he trusts his pace, the no. Even a born bed the nature, or to na wako. on wa be do penalty box nechi no and they have volume no boy a ball deflecting my goalkeeper Dalo Otu no saving. I think in total he had a very fine game before Olibe Firmino. Now he's given a very beautiful that is outing. We've already gotten to see Ali Sedu. Until wa akade yebo hu Marvin Sanayan so and honestly one of the players out there no na ye be say questions beble na use na ye prenu ya ye nja no pom to go fanfa akwono onyade and na bed I always keep saying obi obo at this level professional player bi eni wiase ma wasa dem ka se bi no wona wasa onyade no wasa na onyade on at that level obenya na highs obenya no lows but never should you call a player be there onyade wa blow at the highest level obi bo Chelsea na yes wasa obi bo Real Madrid obo Man U obo clubs akasa yes wasa onyade that person was the age cry and Marvin Sana with early days in the shares of Black Stars no not only that convincing but in that you could see really that no he's grown to be that kind of a modern day right back yenya ka team no so perform so well obetu na wa hwana wa boa Ghana now we made the mistake be without defense na me this no and I bet it was a cross into our area and how you pick up men that time no we just strike on Bob Moma why free cry just on the edge of the penalty mark that time no what the goalkeeper na bottom Benjamin Asare no know them and that ball no kade nke Gideon Mensah sha no ho and e bon de selling to that e bon the space behind and on the Gideon Mensah nearly that is on goal na Nkoleba no players ni na e mover waka ball no do wonu we free no or the one and it started with Marvin Sanaya or advance ko nanim e wono kra no ko hwe no nko expect the ref no obeje foul one man but what GT no nkofo na ndile na obo the quick play and a ball long pass the two Marvin Sanaya nature because when the wa be nim inte kwande he had to take Jonas Ajeti to go and cover up for him ono cover for the right back no and the next defender Opokun so shifted or be share on na name then the left back Gideon Mensah was still moving around the left back position on your fourth I bet two players more need the name and the nature answer number 10 I think Andrews on so nature nti our defender and left back dem o problem here wa cause I bet one abaka fan e ku the winimo on will be receive ball no e ku so the which as second ball no ball befa e be for na and I am coach is Ebeka actually kokko for normal a 9 no ogina penalty box ni mu no
because on no dangerous
on no extremely dangerous two ni dangerous but like extremely dangerous on so height yes without the ball and ball no cross it that will locate in the head just that when your ball ni accurately in the ball no be and that time na we move out my ball no but to nachi and about 4 and about so ya on the Gideon Mensah and the ordinary came and kai nyame nkotinka ball no question it no but the baby said there why would the defenders or the center backs leave more this free in the penalty box more only that attacking instinct today in the Luka Jovic be or Hurricane be from Croatia and only England they would delay exercise restraint and pounce on this ball to punish you because I want to have chances go to more convert with ease. Nti say John na bed we be do asama ma okra meka na mada to dey benya against Croatia dey benya against Panama no in England because I won in the group phase no and the group stages no ye be shown in the World Cup proper we left him this free and the team na yes savage situation with that touch from Buena Warfare that is why in the Gideon Mensah no now the press are only to Ghana go on the hanger na make and wasam no and ebuhunda na Coventry City striker no it was worse Nana Wale attack for pass ball and when teammate he saw the pass fine was like no ball no I can press a bit harder and fight for it okoyana be sliding in otu no kunya ball me Enesnyama and since from that striker Coventry City striker no why slide that Enesnyama to Calibrenchi Cali back to Enesnyama then or the ball next award them I bet them na yepe for ball next award with disrespect and the man Elbina no work on it. Elbina no work on it. And that is I say
one more options.
One more options. Then you can find one on the left, one on the right, and all one can sense for glory. In tennis, new to me the ball no kwaya kunya or you see the pace no kunya 1v1. Said the caliber in Chikawa, it was 2v1 for Ghana. And Obialo can say tia and there's near money invitation or inclusion to the Black Stars call up no. I think there's a extra the moment here, but I apologize now, sorry. Obia hit na humble pie.
Is it necessary to say so?
Oh yes.
I mean, because it was legitimate call. I mean, player we pray.
And nobody will prove wrong. And they will be even when they are half fit, they can make half chances become a whole. And eventually, any individual skills, And baby ball as a ringer and the head na rely on the pace na skills. In the drives, And say enya the ACL na a recover. Fine, you can think aloud and draw the conclusion that you think that very early for him to have gotten that invitation. But what if other players beat Abdul Fattah Usahaku was were worn out opponent when in defense let's say unleash on them and Nesnyama to come and continue the disturbing or the disturbance exactly that no baby. And players no wire that ball jugglers now. What drive balls with their pace now arrive in dangerous positions now. And Nesnyama is one of them. In their days, I bet, disgraceful. And exactly that, no, calibration so the bone eventually. Kunya that touch, born Okwena, Okoshenet. And I think it is good for the confidence of Calib. Yabon as a right back, that Yabon as a midfielder, that first game for the permanent coach in Carlos Cruz. Also, maybe at baby a power. I bet Okurumo once and Wakoshe goal. And on us, number 6 now that time, no all bona all pobia arrive in the penalty box. I was them go no, or tell Wabba 10 no, Wabba pay 8 no, Wabba 9 when the work to fight for the last ball. And then the pep mudin come over catch. They want their strikers or forward to fight for every ball until the last touch. One more born him. That's exactly and a boy of a calibration no to know ye. Men jebo nechidi until the uno be a pass na pass ninya, nini bufu no wadano. No we give up that be. Ebi mpana play na wode ma bona afa na ase ebi wole ma goalkeeper back pass back pass we do a simple catch for him and I pick for him into na enko press ebutuma press no I confuse wa abo na achaw and I wa afa na ase na bona akoshe na team. These are the things and exactly that na Caleb ne ya otumodunya dem go no. Then Brendan Thomas Asante with the any pressing on the attacking are still created by Enes Nyamakuna yekese eti na bed obo that shot my second born by Betoa na Brendan Thomas Asante or miss that one. And I think that with the caliber of striker, that momentum could put my exercise restraint kaka. While relax nank will control born answer, we decide be body share. But born in the year and anchor so lose the foot and not tried all force. But I bet this one, you have to find the back of the net.
Yeah.
The baby Brendan Thomas Asante bubble with two, no, on your papa.
Nangason with the one.
Nangason with the born one when he. But the moment, the number of times an attack with the introduction of the boy and the warfare in the and I think was good. You with the kind of go I concede. And that time they introduced Abdul Baba Rahman. And I bet I'm at it. Sankamwa Kunya and Kamutu Baba Rahman before the call up Nankamakada Baba member. Baba member. Get no baby phone. And I think no Benons one you like it. Then decided one go no. O Phoebe. But go na bet a bet you may basa. Blame the Baba Abdul Rahman and Bejibi. Central defenders in the Bejibi. Na Benjamin Asai goalkeeper and Swajibi. And it will start from Baba Rahman. If I image is selling that in Facebook streaming, the breast price 91 from on Facebook na behe. I better hear Congress in a while for ball for waves. I say, I feel a left wing and already drawn a while support. Baba Rahman Ojina was a Fabian on him, you know. When will be he's ready. Dolabana Wabe defend. Quickly, a bonum confina 1 2 said selling more the next one. Confina 1 2 if you play na no date you know. Waba can wa bet Baba Rahman. And a Ghana attack on all support no on the 2v2. Baba na nyim di anan play natural nti no nyot your player no ohun the part boy nit no ho and behind him one player in the penalty box I think Abdul Mumin no so close down one striker ansa na ebenya calibre nchin no so bra natural box support asia no na Brendan Thomas Asante nti Ghana numbers na ye wa han ye 5
who is closer to the
I think it was Christopher Bonsuba.
Okay
on no ben boy no pass ball no and on we close in the pool. Why need me? The next person all bano, all go to be on Baba Rahman or Ben, and Baba Nechin Abdul Mumin or calibre in Solaba. So there's no way I not the Baba and call the one Ujinawala.
But with Christopher Bozuba, Senakubutuma stop ball
for the short pass, Nana. Okay, fine. He could have also pressed very well and prevent that. But say how will closely play no pass ball. So the man about Baba Rahman is so closing down before the pass and calling to mention. Be Facebook na bohu share the space na Baba na maboy no nti boy no before be ball na Baba ye away from him pass na ben na Baba afei na oleba so just one touch na we beat Baba Rahman and I think the Ben he was flat footed too much obegina na nando fall into the touch ne ben na no beat on no baba Abdurrahman otumo movie away from him no nye space or cross the ball no e won baba na commit mistakes na we coaches ne be catch as much as possible prevent the cross remember cross number now baba commit away cross number what happened to the defenders and it was Jonah Ajeti and no opportunity then go to na what prevent that header but now head the ball no I bet chepe keke just have a touch to the ball mo wutirin ka ball na at all cost and I didn't trick a ball na bed okwa say last pool and then na Benjamin Asare so move wa so close to the first pool I bet he will be Benjijina close to first pool one leaving a very vast space on the right side and a ball no question him. So say make a make a blame that I'm only by saying now this is my defense, this is my reason. Me believe that Barbara man could have prevented that. I mean dribble no and the subsequent cross. Onu Jonas Ajeti should have prevented boy and ordinary ball from getting a proper touch to the ball. And to me win the ball at least shielding ye now onya clear touch to the ball. Wanye and a Benjamin Asare no position nibi otumina or allow ball more question. I've seen this video circulating with a number of balls like this what that's a goalkeeper Benjamin Asare. And I think that although be one of the deficiencies Nankasa Carlos Cruz knowing the days and all ball no goalkeeper. Or Sansu two that is goalkeepers trainers war Blasters camp war. They should be able to pick up these mistakes and work on them in the glory of the Blasters and eventually yetuna in a proper outing during the Mundial. I think it is fine, it is fair. We could have gotten the 3 as 1 point. But I will follow her analysis what happened during the AFCON deba and the Chris Hutton to add a bed. Impendido and amendments in the last minute goals are you concede. Inyambo ball na ye thread the 88th minute in the Ghana you lead him pa yen winning.
Is it loss of concentration?
It is part. It is part.
And we are too excited.
And also and say excitement no be me lose concentration. I switch it off no. But I think we should be aggressive enough to the extent that with that last minute na one was the one that feel kind of game na ya shase. And the Jumana here with the first 80 minutes in a bed, it is useless if you cannot defend for the last 10 minutes. And then that additional time you consider go no. I do from the half corner or the one leading at this moment in the season. And I think it is not proper. As early as possible, we should work on it. If there outing is anything to go by, fair enough, we can get to the Mundial. But if strikers like this in the shape of Wolves will tune out Wallace at that moment there, I don't see how we will qualify out of the group against Croatia, England, and also Panama. And I bet Panama na yeah underrate one. I want to put a consider goals against them. I don't think we are ready enough for the Mundial.
91